Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, will you agree that your conduct on March 30th was wrongful?
Representative Johnson.
My conduct on that day was what I felt compelled in my heart to do for my constituents. That is your answer, sir.
Representative Bulso.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will you agree, Representative, that your conduct on March the 30th constituted disorderly behavior?
Representative Johnson.
I don't think I'm going to agree with you on anything, quite frankly. I mean, we've voted the same a lot of time in this body, but what I'm going to agree to is that I may have broken a rule, but the words in this document are false, and I did what I was compelled to do based on speaking for the voters in my district who were begging me to bring this issue forward.
Representative Bulso.
Thank you, Speaker. Representative Johnson, did you hold up a sign?
I've spent much of my life dedicated to helping children. Appreciate you guys. You just made me get teary-eyed. And I really want to thank you for standing with me, because I know you care about children. And I hear a lot of talk about caring about children, but I continue to hear no one having conversations about things that will prevent gun violence from coming to our doors. There are so many things we could do that would change the trajectory of where we're headed. More school shootings, more church shootings, more Waffle House shootings, all of these, theater shootings. It's happening everywhere, folks. There's one common denominator. It's the guns. It's the people that have the guns, because we are not doing anything to make sure that people who are not safe don't have guns.
Mr. Clark, take the vote.
Aye, 65, 30 nays.
House Resolution 64 fails.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move adoption of House Resolution 63.
Seat as a member of the House of Representatives in the 113th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, elected by the 86th Representative District. Whereas Article 2, Section 12 of the Tennessee Constitution provides that each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with concurrence of 2/3 expel a member, but not a second time for the same offense, and shall have all the powers necessary for a branch of the legislature of a free state.
It is indeed a sad day for us in the state of Tennessee, with the loss of Representative Justin Jones from this body. It is a victory of this movement that still says it matters to end gun violence in the state of Tennessee. This movement that still says it is time for just action and just reforms in our state, and to still have Representative Gloria Johnson serving in this House.
Of the NRA, we can't be beholden to organizations that don't want to see us make progress on.
We spoke up for gun control and the end of gun violence. We're here today. We're being sought to be expelled from the People's House, for speaking up about the need for gun control, because we broke some House rules. We're here today because of House Resolutions 63, 64, and 65. Rules, I will tell you that I was never told about. I learned about more rules in this House and our state constitution in the last 5 days than in my entire tenure. Then we'll ask them after. Thank you. I'm here because the people in District 86 ask that we might fight for justice against the status quo here. I'm here because we are subversive to the status quo. One that is young, one that is diverse, one that calls into question the ways that we have been operating that are not working. Because if they were working, those kids would be alive. Larry would be alive. People in our communities and in our families, TJ would be alive. If the system was working the way it was supposed to, because my cousin would be alive. But
Representative Pearson.
thank you, Representative.
And the NRA, we can't be beholden to organizations that don't want to see us make progress on gun.
Because we are going to continue to fight for just legislation. We're going to continue to fight to ensure that more lives are not lost to the epidemic of gun violence in our communities. And so, yes, if I'm expelled from this house, I will not have the opportunity to fight for that legislation as a member, but you can believe that I will continue to fight for our communities and to fight for just legislation in the state of Tennessee.
Representative Warner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I call for the question.
Question's been called. There's objection. We're voting on previous question.
Come on, Senator.
Objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Pursuant to Article 2, Section 12 of the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, I hereby declare Representative Justin J. Pearson. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
House Resolution 65 by Chairman Hulsey, a resolution to expel Justin Jones from his seat as a member of the House of Representatives of the 113th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, elected by the 52nd Representative District.
The world is watching Tennessee. The world is watching Tennessee. Because what is happening here today is a farce of democracy. What is happening here today is a situation in which the jury has already publicly announced the verdict. Just yesterday, the House Speaker took to national news to condemn us and call for expulsion before any evidence was presented, before any trial happened. And so what we see today is just a spectacle. What we see today is a lynch mob assembled to not lynch me, but our democratic process.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've only got a few.
We called for you all to ban assault weapons, and you respond with an assault on democracy. That is why the nation is watching you today. And I say to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that no matter what you vote, you have the votes, but you will not be victorious because there are generations of young people who see what is going on.
I had to leave here Monday night after this resolution was introduced and go to my son's Little League field and see red ribbons surrounding the outfield in memory of William Kinney, who was murdered. And I'm outraged, and we should all be outraged. We need to do something, and expelling Justin Jones is not the answer. It's a threat to democracy.
To God.
First, the representative's address was a compelling, eloquent statement of why he needs to be expelled. In fact, when you listen to it carefully and closely, it's clear that he wants to be expelled. That's why he refers to all of you as a dishonorable house. We all saw the video of what he did. He and two other representatives effectively conducted a mutiny on March the 30th of 2023 in this very chamber. Recall that in his opening statement, he called his actions honorable. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that the gentleman shows no remorse. He does not even recognize that what he did was wrong.
This is a historic day for Tennessee, but it may mark a very dark day for Tennessee because it will signal to the nation that there is no democracy in this state. It will signal to the nation that if it can happen here in Tennessee, it's coming to your state next.
All right, we are voting on House Resolution 65. All those in favor, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Aye, 72, 25 nays.
Pursuant to Article 2, Section 12 of the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, I hereby declare Representative Justin Jones of the 57th Representative District expelled from the House of Representatives of the 113th Assembly of the State of Tennessee.
You know, a week after mass shooting, it's so outrageous that the first reaction of this body is to expel me, rather than to pass common sense gun laws, which we were asking for. Our community's in grieving. Nashville is in grieving, and this is their response to grieving. And I think that the nation needs to know those in this chamber accountable.
Is over. Let's show up every week to this rotunda and remind them that we're not going to let this go, that they're expelling me today, but they can't expel our movement. They're trying to silence me, but they can't silence the thousands of us here who are demanding change. No action, no peace. No action, no peace.
English language or how to have difficult conversations haven't been enough. And even if you aren't on my roster, in my homeroom, my hallway, or my building,
I've been here since 7 a.m. We've been fighting to end this fascism, to make sure that 3 elected representatives of Tennessee are not expelled because they stand with gun control, because they stand with our kids' lives. We demand action. We are tired of being scared. Little kids should not be scared when they're in school, and that is why I'm here.